Computer. Lights.
Good morning, everybody. And Pepper's here at the last second.
Of course.
Yeah. Which is the only reason I say this, because usually when you're here, I don't run my opening credits because my opening credits are pretty much, and it's the Guy show. And when you show up, I'm like, well, it's kind of the Guy and Pepper show. So I don't have a Guy and Pepper show opening credits. What we need to do, you and me, is somewhere along the line, we need to go and go out to a field and have you and me frolicking in the field and make that our opening credits. So when it's you and me, it's like the Guy and Pepper show. We're frolicking in fields and stuff.
Well, I think if we did that, I think your wife would be like, is there something you need to talk to me about?
Oh no, my wife would be like, no, that's my husband. I hate to say this, but she knows me well. She'd be like, yep, that's about right. Hey, no, Bill, we have this idea for our opening credits. We're going to make Guy and Pepper opening credits. We're going to have the two of us frolicking in fields and stuff. The stupidest things. It'd be awesome. So anyway, that's our thought. It doesn't have to go that way.
No, I have meeting at 10.
Okay.
So, I will see you guys, by the way, speaking of, I will see you guys tomorrow, and I'll be bringing you a USB drive. I've got to remember that. So, it's important.
I wanted to cover the Linux thing real quick.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to make you try to push you into that direction or anything.
I know.
I was just playing around.
Oh, no. You're fine. You are absolutely fine. I actually legitimately have been considering or thinking about Linux. The problem really is I keep looking into it, and though I can make things work in Linux under Wine, it ends up, I think my buddy Joel was saying the right things, which is you're really just trading the frustration of not being able to control Windows with the frustration of having to configure Linux. And it depends on which one of those frustrations you want.
Right.
And Brent, as Brent's saying, Brent's also talked about this a number of times. It is totally fine, and you can keep razzing me for not using Linux. That is absolutely okay. It's just that when you said it, I was like, you know what? I've never gotten your opinion on it. So tell me what you think. Because I know you and Brent and my friend Kevin Palm, all three of you guys use Linux. And so I trust what you guys say. Because you could say, I like Apple, blah, 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 but I don't use an Apple. Okay, well, then what's the point? Why are you talking? So, or I get people who are like, I use Apple sometimes, but I don't know how to really use it or whatever. And they're trying to get me to go over to Apple. That was what Ron was saying, or not Ron, Rob, who he uses Apple, and that's totally cool. But I also know he's not a power user of Apple. So I'm a power user. I use a lot of resources.
Yeah.
And I mean, this computer is not you. This machine is super configured. And it's very specific about what it does.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, if I switch to Linux, it's going to be a power user sort of situation. So I want to know what the power users think. So
power user wise, Linux would be more optimal, I think.
Yeah.
We can go over that when you visit, because I don't want to steal your show on that. But if you did want to experiment with it, you could just buy an extra hard drive, and then we can install Linux on it, and then just swap the cables in your computer. You could use it for a period of time. And then if you need to, just turn your computer off, swap the cables back, and boot back into Windows if that's what you want. But that way you're not committed so deeply where you would need to reinstall everything if you decided this
Right.
doesn't work for me. So
Yeah. I mean, the biggest problem is I think I used to be a bigger computer geek than I am. And I think I am still that kind of person. But really, the truth is, like it super frustrates me when the Creative Cloud override app crashes. Because when it crashes out, I have a specific glitch that I think is probably happening because of my card, my video card. But it causes it to break, require a reinstall, and then you have to reinstall everything, and then it breaks and requires a reinstall. So we're in a loop. And when it does, it drops me. I mean, it's the licensing part of the Creative Cloud app. So as soon as it breaks, all Creative Cloud uh, apps stop immediately. So if I'm working in Photoshop, it immediately says, "Would you like to save your program before we close this program now?"
yes,
And that's like that's all I've got is I've got the ability to save or not save. There's no ability to dismiss this. Whatever I'm working on right now stops right this second. And it's extraordinarily frustrating. And the only way to get rid of it is to literally go into the registry and pull pieces of Creative Cloud out. And I'm like, we're getting to the point now where I'm feeling uncomfortable doing that because I used to just like go into the registry and I didn't care. And if I really blew stuff up, I'll reinstall Windows 97. I don't care, or Windows, what it doesn't really matter. So, but now I'm getting to the point where it's like, I'm not sure I know what I'm doing anymore.
right.
We're hitting a level of I'm not sure. I mean, I was just as an example. Last Sunday, I was watching you in Linux typing, just the normal commands of change directory and stuff like that. Just our normal DOS commands, and I was realizing not DOS commands, but DOS-esque commands. And I was realizing I don't think I remember all of my DOS commands anymore. And when I go into a command prompt on here, I'm literally just saying, "Oh crap, what am I typing?" Okay, go to the internet and find out what exactly I need to type.
Mhm.
So it's one of those things. So
All right. Well, I won't hijack.
okay, yeah, you did not bother me at all, my friend. Don't worry, and you can razz me to the ends of the earth. It's just this time I was like, "Oh, I've heard Brent's opinion. I haven't heard your opinion." So I was like, "What's your opinion, Bill? Tell me." Because I'll add that to the list, So cool. Thanks, my friend.
You got it.
And all of those Apple users that use Apple, they all suck. That's what it is. Speaking of rising people. Oh, man.
I've had a long night. I thought of Instagram again, so an Instagram one.
Oh, no. What happened?
essentially,
This is like I fought the law, but the law won.
Essentially, I like sent them a bunch of images
Uh-huh.
because I found out I still have access to the account as far as putting in comments that people send to my posts through my Facebook Meta
Right.
business side.
Right. Because Meta isn't totally set up properly, so
Yeah.
people
And
don't know.
And so the hacker they disconnected my direct messaging from Meta, but they didn't disconnect me from commenting on my old posts on my old account.
Right.
And so I did all the steps that they told me to do, and I sent them my ID, and I sent them all the pertinent information that they needed. And they basically said the names don't match the owner of the account. And now this has gotten me thinking, like, if I was trans and I hadn't been able to legally change my name or my
Right.
gender,
You'd be in trouble.
fact, Instagram now would be proving that I would have to use my dead name. And then instantly using the dead name, they would basically say, oh, this isn't you. We can't give you your account back. Now, mind you, I'm not trans. I go by
No.
Pepper because there's like a billion people with my name.
Well, and that's the thing is, like, I go by GS for exactly the same reason. There's a Guy Davis comic artist out there. He's in my field.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
I can't use Guy Davis. He's got me beat.
And I can't use my birth name either because if I use my birth name, it aligns with 4 other people. If I
Right.
use my birth name, that aligns with 6 other people. And they're
Exactly.
all in the same field as me. Like this is like what's been getting me down a little bit because I entered a field where like legitimately you have to differentiate yourself from other people.
Right. Well, and that's true of a lot of public facing fields. That's
Yeah.
the thing. Like actors have to do this too. Why is my white balance
Yeah.
so weird?
I mean, even my IMDb has my birth name, but has Pepper in it as well.
There we go. A little bit better.
Uh,
Oh, I wonder if I can make myself like chartreuse. Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah.
oh, there's a chartreuse. Now you're blue. Chartreuse blue. Chartreuse blue.
Right? As I do. Okay. I'm not trying to downplay your situation, by the way. I'm sorry. I just looked at my camera and I'm like red. Like I look like I've been drinking way too much all night. There we go. Except that no, the purple still shows up and the green still shows up. It's okay. So yeah, and that's the thing. I think that you just kind of hit it on the head right there, which is what do you do if you're trans and you have a dead name? Or non-binary. My niece, who's I don't even know what to call her, nibbling is a they them, and
Technically, the name I use is typically adopted by a non-binary person as well.
yeah, but that's what I'm saying. You know that they have chosen a new name for themselves that's not binary, and the new name may be what sticks. I mean, they're 18, so we'll have to see, but their name may stick, and if so, what do you do?
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with drinking too much at night. I'm drinking coffee at this point. I have usually 1 beer a night with dinner. And it's because I actually kind of like the taste of the beers. So, but yeah, I have the
on the beer
interesting and not interesting. One of my stupid human tricks, so to speak, is that I have never been drunk in my entire life.
I can't say that, unfortunately.
Right, but I mean, it's not a competition. But I mean, the point is that
I know it's not competition. I'm just reiterating. I know what it feels like to be drunk, and I'm kind of jealous of you for not ever experiencing that.
yeah, although the reason why is not pleasant. So there's that. Because I had a grandmother who was a mean drunk, and so when I was a teenager, assumed I would also be a mean drunk, and I am much more terrified of being a cruel individual than I am of having fun. So I didn't want to hurt my friends, and
I want to reiterate: everyone who drinks, if you ever essentially drinking, there's a point of drinking where yes, you could get very angry, and have your emotions go really high. However, for some people, it's actually based off of what you're drinking.
oh, sure. I mean,
So,
and now as an adult, I know that some people are happy drunks, and some people are mean drunks, and some people are, and everybody's different. My dear beloved wife is a floofball. She's entertainingly fun when she's drunk, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean,
Yeah.
but I didn't know that at 15.
Yeah, no,
So,
well, I mean,
and
I
a
had
lot
a
of this
very
comes
unusual
from,
childhood, so I learned that pretty quickly.
yeah, I mean, a lot of this comes from just being 15 and doing what 15-year-olds do, especially 15-year-old ADDers, which is I make absolutes, and then there's no way I'm going to not stick to this absolutely positively. And oh my God, because, ADDers.
Well, and the funny thing is a lot of the times, like the only reason why I was drinking was I thought it was the social norm to do that,
Uh huh.
and I found out like my family kind of since I come from a long line of alcoholics,
Yep.
I found out that it's not always the case to safe to drink.
Sure.
Um, and
I
also,
like the Brent's like, I was a Marine.
yeah, I mean, I like literally think that I literally think back like at some of the stuff that I experienced and I put myself through, and I'll be honest, it wasn't great, wasn't healthy, but also at the same time, like when I decided to drink alcohol, like when I was tipsy, I thought I was normal,
Right.
you know. Um, but also at the same time, like when I took it, like if I drank rum, I got punch drunk.
Yep.
If I drank vodka, I got like basically depressing. It was horrifying. When
Yep.
I drank tequila, my clothes came off,
Yep.
and that was fun.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that.
And when I drink sake, which you saw me drinking the other day, I get a little bit funny.
It was all right. It was cute. You were fine. Don't worry about it.
But also at the same, like now at this point in my life, like I have to, yeah. Well, and it also depends on the person too. Like if I've been drinking with both my parents, my dad cannot hold alcohol at all. My mom, however, my mom,
Can drink anybody under the table.
yeah, I think she could probably give Brent a run for his money. Speaking of which, Brent, I did get that script done. The 8-pager. I ended up adding a splash page, so it's technically 9. So, uh,
Well, you did your job. We told you to do a job. You did it. Good job.
yeah,
That's part of what this Friday thing is all about.
yeah. I don't want Kirk Cameron. No, he's
I
disgusting.
mean,
and gross.
honestly, my feeling is this. Drinking is one of those things where some people do it and that is totally cool and they are just fine with it. And then some people don't. And that's also cool. I've got one of the buddies at NDK, and he just won't drink at all. Period. Doesn't drink, has never drank, doesn't really want to. And so he and I tend to be the watchers. Everybody else gets to drink and we sit there with our tea and we watch to make sure that nobody's clothes comes off. and
Well,
things like
I mean,
that.
there comes a time and place where clothes are funny to have being taken off.
Right. But I'm just saying that we make sure that yes, but probably not at a board function for NDK.
No.
And it's probably a bad time for that kind of thing to occur. So,
Well, plus also you don't want to. There's some people I don't want to see naked.
all right.
I'm sorry.
I see myself naked every day, and I can tell you, you don't want to see that.
Well, and I see myself naked every day too.
Yeah.
I don't want people seeing me naked. Um, but I think that a lot of people like don't realize like that's not me shaming like people that I don't want to see naked. What I really am saying is I don't want to see people whom if I know really well, I don't want to see them naked.
Yeah, I mean, really, the truth is, it's not a shame thing. Although I'm sort of saying it like it really is. The truth is, I actually don't. There are a number of buddies whom I'm like, you know what? That memory will haunt me forever. Like, not because you're horrible looking or anything, but it's just not the environment that we're supposed to be in.
Well, it's kind of like when people sit there and like tell me I've never walked in on my parents having, going down on the business town in their bedroom. And I'm like, unfortunately, I have. Not
Going
just
down
one.
on Business Town. Just having a problem with that one. I'm sorry. I'm still working that one out over here.
Well, I mean, for the most part, the way that it was explained to me when I was very young, it seemed very business like. Like, hey, we want to have a kid. Let's do things to make us have a kid.
Okay.
Let's try on
I'm
your
just
birthday. We
I'm
put
still working on
that
going down on Business Town. That's all.
um.
It's
you know,
all. I'm good.
no. I walked in on my dad and my stepmom, my dad and my mom, and my mom on in with one of her boyfriends.
Uh-huh.
So,
Your mom needs to invest in locks.
um,
Your parents need to invest in locks.
well, no, they did. I just,
Like my sister with Christmas presents, you were just good at it.
yeah.
The thing that made my sister so mad was she loved the surprise of Christmas, and she always managed to find the Christmas presents by accident. And it made her so mad at herself because, it would always be something like mom would put it in the closet or something like that. Or one time she put all the Christmas presents in the trunk of her car, and my sister had to go out to the trunk to get something out of the car. So it was like stuff like that. It was always something like that. And it made her so mad. She was so upset because she didn't want to know what the Christmas presents were. So it was kind of funny. I am putting a whole bunch of dilapidated buildings out. It's always fun. So I kind of stopped for a little bit to do some of the work for Airship 27 and Ron, because I'm going to see Ron tomorrow. And I figured I might as well have a piece for him to see.
Uh-huh.
So I'm putting together this piece, but also while we're at it, I'm taking a little bit of a break from the tech manual because I was burning out a little. I was kind of doing these, staring at it, going, I don't know what to do next, sort of thing. I'm like, I might be burning out a little. And so Brent was like, you need to take a break. And I'm like, yeah, I need to take a break. So we're taking a break here. And I am doing the thing where I'm doing all of these rocks and things like that, rocks and shoals. Great episode of Deep Space Nine. One of my favorites. So anyway, okay, what else were we doing? I'm not sharing my screen. So you see up here, I've put my team allegiances so that everybody knows what team I'm rooting for.
Jeez.
I know you're shocked, but we are in the middle of, we're heading into the Olympics again, and I have to like root for my teams. Go Team Japan, go Team USA. I'll always be that way. And if Ghost Hand gets on here, I'll put Team Brazil up there too. I'll root for Team Brazil. Sometimes the Brazilian teams come up with some amazing things. They're so cool. I've been watching the Olympics for a long, long time, so. All right.
I actually usually have no
allegiance.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't really have like any opinions on it because I mean I don't know. Like I'm not really a huge like sport ball person.
I know.
So
and usually neither am I. But this was something my mom and I used to do through my childhood. The Olympics were a big deal in our household. And so though I don't necessarily like care that, I mean, I guess it's not I'm trying to come up with the right word for it. It's not that I'm necessarily like, oh, it's critical that, you know, Bob Smith of Team USA make the gold medal this year because Bob Smith has been practicing for the last, you know, blah, 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 blah. You know, I don't know all the individual stories per se, but I do. It's very comfortable to watch opening ceremonies and watch closing ceremonies and to watch like ice skating. Mom was into ice skating and I follow the ice skating team. She was into the gymnastics team for the Summer Olympics. So I usually follow the gymnastics team, even though in reality, I'm not that attached. But I mean, like Brent's following the curling games, and I think that's cool too. But curling, I remember when curling was added to the Olympics, and I remember Mom and I watching it going, wait a minute. So they throw a stone and then they brush in front of the stone. You know, like we were like totally perplexed. But now curling, everybody kind of understands what curling is, which is cool. But
yeah.
I remember the first time that we saw curling, we were like, what the heck is going on?
I mean, the only thing that I know Bill likes with the Olympics is curling. So
yeah,
that's as far as I know.
Which is awesome. I mean, that means that, and it's another one of those things. Just because I didn't understand it at first and I thought it was very strange, doesn't mean that now I don't respect it. I just remembered the first time I saw it. I was probably, I don't know, probably 10 or 11 or 12, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
So, of course, I was very opinionated. I'd never seen anything like this before. So, naturally, it's weird, you know, because, you know, that's where you are when you're 10 through 12, super opinionated about everything. So, anyway, yeah. Now, I mean, I don't necessarily watch curling, but I want the U.S. team to win. I actually kind of feel like the Canadian team should win, though. Because it's a Canadian sport. So it seems kind of like it's mean if the Canadians don't win. Yeah. So it's one of those things.
Yeah, it's surprising. Like when people tell me that something's like Canadian, I'm just like, I'm surprised I didn't hear that prior because I have Canadian relatives and they talk about everything Canadian. Well, I mean, like they legitimately will tell you what, like Like a Canadian comic said it best. Like one in a stand-up routine. Um, Canadians love pointing out who's Canadian in Hollywood.
Yep.
They love pointing out what ties to Canada in America you have.
Yep. Like William Shatner.
Yeah. And he talks like this and
Like
doesn't
this. And
realize
that's the way he talks. Spock. He will talk like that.
he doesn't. And what's funny is like he doesn't realize he actually talks like that.
I know. He's funny. He is who he is, though.
Yeah.
So,
I'm.
oh, you know how Canada got its name, right?
Because they had a lot of cans. Duh.
Yeah, they took a hat and put Scrabble pieces in it and shook it up, and then they pulled out like this. They were like, "We got to come up with a name." Okay, well, we'll pull out letters, and so we pull out C A N A D A.
Surprisingly enough, not all Canadians actually say A.
Oh no! A
No,
Canadian
I'm
told me
just
that
saying
joke.
this in general.
I'm just saying,
I
a
know the
Canadian
joke.
told
I
me
know the
that joke.
I know the joke. But the A thing actually comes from more of an American influence
Of course it does.
than people realize because
I actually,
like,
my dear Canadian friends will only do the A thing whenever they are messing around with us.
well, I just like when people sit there from Canada and they're trying to cover their accents so well and then they say a boot
Yep.
or suey.
Yep. I'm so sorry.
See suey.
Yeah. Well, and Brent, yeah, he talks like that because it's a stage thing. It's actually funny because, like, Bill or Dr. Sagan. Dr. Sagan is infamous for saying billions and billions. And what happened was, in the first episode of Cosmos, he was shooting a scene on a beach. And in the background, the ocean was, crashing and crashing. And he was trying to say billions there are billions of grains of sand, just as many. And the audio tech was like, I can't hear that. I can't tell whether you're saying billions or millions because the water is, behind him. And so he went and said, it's all right. I'll just enunciate it. And so he went, there are billions of and from that point forward, everybody has said that about him. And, of course, at some point in time, he's like, oh, I totally owned that. I started going in and everybody wanted me to say billions and billions. So I did. And so he was like, I totally owned that. I was like, you know what, Dr. Sagan, good job. That was cool.
Well, I mean, as much as I like watching old Carl Sagan stuff, sometimes I just can't take the turtleneck.
The turtleneck's awesome. If I could stand having things around my neck, I'd totally wear turtlenecks.
Well, I tried wearing turtlenecks when I was a kid, and like everyone's like, "You're not a person that should wear a turtleneck." And then like I've worn them as an adult, and I'm like, "No, there's nothing wrong with it. Maybe I shouldn't wear a white turtleneck."
I'll just spill stuff on it. The only time I wear a turtleneck now is when I'm wearing my Picard uniform, because Picard era uniforms have turtlenecks. The rest of them have the Mandarin collars, but the Picard era ones have turtlenecks, and so I only wear turtlenecks. Well, DS9 has turtlenecks too. So if I'm wearing my DS9 uniform or if I'm wearing my Picard uniform, I have to wear a turtleneck. But You know, that's sacrificing for the cause. It's important to wear uniforms
Hey,
properly.
Ghost Hand.
Ghost Hand. Do you need me to put? You want me to put Brazil up here too? Team Brazil. You rooting for Team Brazil? Because if you are, right, a mark of elegance with a scarf. I'm okay with that. I feel like just what I know of Ghost Hand, though, I could see at least my image of Ghost Hand in my head. Because of course I've never met Ghost Hand, so I don't really know. But my image, I could see that he's an elegant sort. I could see turtlenecks. Turtlenecks fit.
Well, there's a lot of people that I can sit there and see like turtlenecks going with and stuff like that. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that
Your message is all, or yeah. You know what? I can find Team Brazil. Hang on. We'll put Team Brazil up there for you. Brazil. I love Brazilian colors. Brazil has like my kind of coloring going on for it.
Uh-huh.
All right. I'll open up that banner. The Olympic thingy. That's my technical term for it.
The Olympic thingy?
The Olympic thingy. It's a technical term. What, I can't open SVGs in... Oh, God. I swear. People make my life miserable for no reason. Apparently cannot open SVG.
Huh. Well, now I know what I want to ask someone to buy me for Christmas or my birthday.
I like that banner, though. That Brazilian banner is cool. I don't want to go for a different one. Crump, crump, crump. Oh, yeah. You're more of a bomber jacket sort of person. Yeah, my wife likes turtlenecks more than I like turtlenecks for much the same reason. Okay, so I can't open SVGs with this, so I'm trying to decide how I'm going to open the SVG.
Brent, what would you like me to tell you about the thing I found? Oh, okay. So when I do watercolor and stuff like that, I usually get them from a source, and I'm looking at one of my source websites, and they have a entire kit of pearl luster interference and white iridescent pigments for $75. And so you basically get like an assortment of a bunch of these dusts, but they're not like all white. They're like they are luster dust that basically shines in other colors. So you could literally make a whole entire watercolor palette of shiny colors that you can't see unless you move them in the light. And it's all different colors. So essentially what I'm saying is like you could have an entire drawing and someone can look at it directly and not see anything, and then it shifts, and that's when you see like the actual picture. So, but I would have to get someone to buy it for me because it's just too expensive for me right now.
I'm finally having to break down and load Photoshop. So we have to wait for Creative Cloud to come online because I usually shut down Creative Cloud.
Well,
Creative Cloud hogs every resource I have and then finds other resources from other computers and then hogs them too.
I'm not surprised.
I mean, it's like every major slowdown that I have involves cloud. It involves one of three things. It's either cloud or my Google Drive or my OneDrive. But at least my Google Drive and my OneDrive are hogging resources for things that I understand. It's usually uploading or downloading pictures of some sort. So that makes sense. I'm okay with that. I mean, I'm not okay with that, but you know.
Yeah.
What? I can't open it with. I can open it with Photoshop.
Because it's stuff I can't show.
You go. And Photoshop is cool. It's got lots of really cool things. Yes, that works.
Well, Photoshop is Photoshop. It always has something cool about it, but
Yeah, I mean, like I love their new things about removing backgrounds. It is really cool. I have a whole bunch of stock photos that I use for various things, and I took the pictures of my friends or whatever back in the day. And so they're standing in my living room, or they're standing, there's 20 people behind them, or, so the background removal stuff is awesome because I can still use those things, but I can now bring them into Photoshop, remove the background, and just have just the person.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
Yeah.
It took a lot of effort to get to this, but it's important. It's important, I tell you. Brazil. Now we have Brazil. We can actually close you completely down. No, I saved it now. So we're good. All right. I'll take white out from around it, though, because we don't need that. We'll put... I hope it's okay, though, Ghost Hand, that Brazil is number 3 in the position, though. Priorities. I'm still going to prioritize Team Japan. I hope you understand. There we go. I'm going to move these guys over. Because we can't cover up Astronet over there on the right. Oh, that's kind of cool.
Oh.
Somehow that does not actually surprise me, but I like the blue ball with all the stars. I think that's, I don't know. I mean, as a space guy, you've got a flag with stars on it. It's like just Brazil and Australia. It's like nobody else has stars on it. I think that's so cool. So anyway, all right. Oh yeah, I'm on the wrong thingy. Yeah. We'll say. You know what? I'm going to save as Olympic thingy 2 so that we don't have any problems. Because then I can switch it here. I want to do Olympic thingy 2. I love history like that, though. I'll take that down and bring that up. And there we go. Look at us. And I can delete that one. Because I'll go for Team Brazil. Nothing wrong with that. Okay, I'm back to work. So my wife was saying she feels like it's too clean, which I find interesting.
What, for the stuff you're doing for Ron?
Yeah, she feels like for the what it is, it's too clean.
Well, I mean, you're in the inking phase of it, so
I know, but I mean, she feels like it needs to be a little bit less clean, and I think I'm with her on this. She feels like it should be not she feels like it's not steampunk enough, which I'm okay with. She's not totally wrong. Like, she has a problem with the Cobra heads because the Cobra heads are, you know, they look too modern day. Specifically, the Cobra heads were the problem. She also felt like there were more barrels and things on the dock before, and there were, because the barrels are all right back here behind him. So, you know, I'm kind of like, well, she's not wrong, you know. So I'm kind of looking at this going, well, I'm thinking of roughing it up with a pencil. Like coming in here and just kind of roughing up the sketch a little, you know, like so, which I could do. I think I'll give myself a new layer, though, before I do this. I also feel like I could probably paint underneath this and probably do pretty good. Yeah, I think I probably want to leave the dock open as much as possible to keep his eye line clear. But let's do this. Let's go ahead and put some color in and see what happens. So I'll duplicate my layer, because you know how this works. Duplicate my layer. And then we'll bring up... I can't see anything when it's here. Bring up... Not here. Here. We'll bring up Silver Pentacle 1. Take a look at his colors. Because we already have sort of an assessment of what his colors are here. So let's go ahead and grab that. And we'll go in here and just do this. And we'll give some base colors on things. There we go. You can't see anything because of my cool little Olympic banners.
Yep.
I love all my Olympic banners. You can't see anything. I need to make sure you can see stuff. Uh-oh. I feel like I got a leak.
Got a leak.
Or did it actually just clear and I didn't see it? Yeah, it's a very light color. That's why. There. That's why. And we'll take that color, I think. There we go. And his boots are that color. Aw. Wanted to feel a little stupid thing, but of course, this all works great until you realize that you intentionally made it so that the background wasn't touched by the foreground character. And then you're like, intentionally gapping the background there.
Mm.
I have to go in with a pen and fix that. All right. Won't be able to fill these things unless I go through here and kind of clear this up. And Brent's like, layer check. Oh, this wasn't a layer thing, but still, that's funny. It's still funny.
Yes.
Is that you going poop up?
Yeah, it's Discord.
Okay. Discord's fine.
Yeah. No, it's just a thing because
I run Discord too, so that's why I was like, was that you or was that me?
yeah, no, it's
Nothing wrong with it. It can be you. There's nothing wrong with it.
yeah.
All right. Now we've done that, so we should be able to get in here and color stuff. In theory, like the ship. And then go a little bit darker for down here. Nope. Undo. There actually is a control here in Clip Studio that closes gap. So if you use this closed gap thing, then I can leave gaps open, but I want to color into the actual character, so it's okay. Go for, well, the sails should be pretty light, so we'll do the sails in this color. Yep, I don't like that. That's too dark. No. There we go. I'm going in here and just kind of cleaning this up a little. Whoa. Right. Go in here with my pen. Tap that in real quick. All right. That's some of the grays coming in. This looks actually pretty cool. Donald. That's fine. You can not leave bed. The best part about this is you can just hang out with us in bed. Nobody's going to naysay that. But it is good.
Unless you're a knight of the knee.
Yeah. Then you naysay that.
Yeah.
I may regret my life choices on that one. That's better, I think. A little lighter. Maybe even a little lighter than that. And it's time to take a break, so there we go. That's probably better. I'm going to stand up. Everybody stands up except for Donald. Donald doesn't have to stand up.
Oh, jeez.
Stretch. Oh, man. Oh. Yeah. Roll my shoulders.
Okay.
There we go. All right. Ooh. So my sciatica decided to nuke me on Tuesday night. And it was brutal. And I don't know what the story was, but it went out at like 3 a.m. I woke up and my back was starting to hurt. And so I was like, oh, I probably should do something. And so I got up, and when I got up, my back just totally out. And I was like, I had to almost crawl to the bathroom where I got back and body pills. And even those just made it so I could move. and that was it. And I was, oh man, I was in horrible shape. It was brutal. In other words, I totally feel you, man. Stay in bed. Don't go anywhere until you have to go pee. Then you have to go somewhere. But sciatica, ugh. That's one of those life, don't talk to me about life moments. All right. This is the next.
I have problems with sciatica when I'm like losing lots of weight.
Uh-huh.
I don't know why it decides to work, or like it
Go
decides
after you,
to,
Ben.
yeah, like it's like we don't like this. We don't like this at all.
And you're like, but we're doing the right thing. What's your problem? Because I think that's what's going on with me too. Is I'm on a diet and I'm losing weight. And I think that what's happening is that my back is like, wait, because everything is changing. The dynamic of everything
Yeah.
is starting to change. And I get it, but it still is kind of like, really? Okay, we're going to do this because I need a blue screen, so to speak, for the sky so that we can work on that. So this is our screen for the sky so that I can get that straight.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2 is a problem. Yes, I agree with you. Not only that, boy, number 2, having to go to the bathroom and having to do that thing when your back's out is a miserable thing. I mean, not to put too much TMI on our show, but it no fun. So this is I am masking at this point in time, and what I'm doing when I mask is this way I can check to make sure I have every aspect of the sky selected properly. And so I've made it its own layer to make sure I'm not grabbing things that are not part of. Oh, a ship. We should put a ship on the horizon. There are birds in the sketch. But they didn't make it over here. So we'll have to put in some happy little birds. You're right. Good catch, Donald. Good catch. Because that's actually true. There were birds in the sketch. I don't know where they went because I just totally, I don't know. My brain just like missed them. I don't know. But we got to do 2 of these. We got to do we're going to do the ocean as well. So, because the ocean's going to also be a different critter. Because it's coming through the boards down here too. Not as big of a critter as I expected, but I'm going to use a different color for it so that I know that we got that. Because like out here on the buoy is going to need to be ish. And we're going to have to decide what color it belongs to. We'll start with green. And then I will use the blue and a pin to go through the top part. I think so. Yeah. Okay. Now what I can do, oh, see, I missed a spot. No, I was not on the right layer. This is when Brent says layer check. Okay, and we'll go in here on you and tap. You select.
You said slot just now, right?
I said what?
You said slot right now, just now, right?
Probably. Odds are good.
Because for some weird reason, I thought you said slut.
No. I don't really have a reason for that. But, I don't generally use that word anyway. It's not a very flattering word. Okay. And yeah, probably said slot. Alrighty. Now we're going to put in a new layer. And let's hit light gray to a darker gray, or maybe ocean. Yeah, I think that's what we want, is this. So I'm going to do foreground to background, and we're going to go like this. And take a look at it. Okay, I feel like you should be darker like so, and you should be darker like so. Better. Yep, that's sort of what we are doing. Is there is a new character to the book out here in the ocean. So out in the ocean out near the rocks somewhere. Out in these rocks somewhere, or maybe past the rocks, is a new character, and he can sense the new character. So that's what we're doing. So we can turn that off. And now we're going to take you and we're going to deselect all blue things, apply, deselect, select all blue things. There we go. And this one definitely we do want to be a light gray to white. There we go. And we can kill that line too. There we go. Now that we have done that, we can do a few other things. One of them is we can add a new layer. I'll come in here. I'm going to take these two layers. I'm going to merge them together. I'm going to take it down to ink copy. And I'm going to merge it down here on the ink copy. So I keep the ink and the ink copy separated so that we can actually kind of work down here on this. But I'm going to take a new layer, and we're going to go on multiply. I'm going to take a darker brush like so, and come over here, and I'm going to take this skin brush that I use. We're just going to kind of come in here and just kind of go in here and just touch up the do a little bit of paint work on it. Like so. We're just giving it a little bit of depth. I can do the same thing with this eraser too, and just kind of come back and kind of soften it up a little. I'll do this and kind of come in like so, and just a little cross here. And we'll kind of do this. Give them a little bit more drama than we've had before. Not a lot. We kind of come across the sails. I'm going to in here on the window a little. Definitely down here on the ship. And kind of across like so. There we go. Rocks bring thoughts. It does kind of make you think about that, doesn't it? Just giving some roughness to the ocean there a little bit. Just giving a little bit of sort of a feel. Right? Definitely do something about these pillars, which my great grandmother, that would refer to the fluffy things you lay on in bed. You know, pillars.
Pillars. Yes.
Grab me them pillars over there.
Well, it was either that or in my house, it was either the. All my grandparents basically called the remote the clicker.
The clicker. Yep. Grab me the clicker. Well, okay, so I remember as a little kid, I remember because what would happen is as a little kid, I would be scared, and so I'd go sleep in the bed with my grandparents. And so in the morning, my grandmother would get up to go to work, and my grandfather would get up to go to work. And so they would move me over to this like bed that they had on the side of they had like sort of a secondary bed in their bedroom for me. And they would leave the remote with me so I could just watch TV. I could get up and watch TV. So they'd leave the remote in the bed. And the remote was this box which had like these 6 or 7 buttons that stood out, and you click them and it would unclick another button. So, you know, it was like, I remember the clicker sort of guy. There was a clicker guy that once was like serious.
Well, it's kind of like I don't want to put it. Like my grandparents had a remote that actually made the clicking noise.
That's what I mean. It was this thing would click. It would snap when you pushed the remote. And there are times where I'm kind of like, God, I wish I'd saved that, you know, because I'm sure they threw it away somewhere. I never even thought twice about it. But now you talk about these remotes now, and of course, all of our remotes are so radically different.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like nobody would even remember. It's kind of like we had rotary dial phones at Nana's house. And so when you called her at work or whatever, when you called him, she was up at the shop, which was called the shop. When you called her or called Dad up at his shop or whatever, you know, I got used to, you know, zip, 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 you know, sort of things.
Yeah.
And now, like, my kid has like zero concept of what we're talking about. I mean, he believes that they exist, but he really just doesn't know what in the world we're talking about, you know?
Well,
My wife actually had a legit party line for a while there because she lived on the big island of Hawaii.
Yeah.
And so
well, it's kind of like when people when Bill and I have had discussions about Green Acres.
Yeah.
The show
Green Acres is the place for me. Yep.
Being redone in the sense of like having it being retold in modern terms.
Uh-huh.
And I basically brought it to his attention. I was like, I think we would have some issues doing it because, for starters, you would have to do it in a place where literally you could not do they have no cell phones, so
Right.
you'd be forced to have a landline. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
And they had their phone system was a party line.
Zsa Zsa Gabor. Yeah.
Yes,
Which I think was spelled Z-A? Not
ZSA,
100. Z-H-A?
ZSA,
Z-S-A.
ZSA. It's
ZSA.
Eastern European, so
Yep.
ZSA.
Yep.
Um,
I agree. But we'd have to have no cell phones. I mean, that was part of the allure.
yeah,
You could almost do a Green Acres thing, though, if you were doing this is a retreat or something,
yeah. I think that that's what could happen, but at the same time, you'd also have to you would still have to digress because the whole entire town, the whole point to it was going kind of even further back in time, um, for the 70s or 60s. I forget when the show was running.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Um, um, it went back in time. Like the whole thing about the town was it was kind of not up to the technology of the
Of the
great
60s.
New York City.
Yeah, it wasn't even up to the technology of the 60s.
Yeah, it was very what people think of an
Right.
Amish strip town. Yes,
I was going to say that's probably what it would be, is an Amish town, which
yeah.
means what is it that
They were all because they didn't really. You had to go to a different place to actually get alcohol too. Like they didn't sell alcohol in the town as well. So, so there's that.
There we go. Look at that. What are we thinking? We're getting much better there.
But
all right, so I usually also put an overlay layer, and we go in very light and we highlight stuff. Right. Let's come back and kind of bring this back just a little down here. There we go. I feel like this song makes me want to kill it after a while. Enough that I'm already ready to killing it.
I have a few types of those songs.
There we go. Vom.red. Ooh. OB-Wild1. Let's write that one down. OBA. 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 Will one. There we go. Easily entertained. There we go. Kind of bring this up here.
I did one of those prop things again for our show, so I'm working on that right now.
Prop things. What?
The last show that I was on Wednesday.
Oh, you were doing prompt. I heard props, like a prop from a show.
Yeah.
And part of it is bias. I was talking to Ian last night, my buddy Ian, who a meta stone for creativity. I don't actually know what that is. So I guess the answer is no. No, we do not.
I don't know. Mine is a combination of childhood trauma, failed attempts of humor, and a whole lot of crazy in my head. That's the meta zone for mine.
I think that's a cornerstone.
Yeah. I think that's that goes without saying for like pretty much all artists. That's not just me. But no. I got a prompt called The Dragon's Daughter.
Wait. I gotta make a big screen for you. That's not the way it's supposed to go. That's the way it's supposed to go. Dragon's Daughter. Look at that.
Dragon's Daughter.
We love you, Pepper.
Yeah. So let's do. Let's see. Let's see on how many D&D stuff I can make to this today. Let me sharpen my pencil. Because now I got post-apocalyptic townsfolk.
That's funny. That's what I'm doing.
Well, you're doing steampunk post-apocalyptic.
Also true.
I would like to say it's probably more like a Teeling than a succubi.
Tiefling?
Tiefling, yeah. Well, I think an autocorrect was there because I think it says telling. Yeah, telling. So Tiefling. So post-apocalyptic townsfolk is the next prompt.
Tiefling.
Tiefling, yeah. Yeah, Tiefling. The only thing difference I think between your Tiefling and mine is it looks even more dragon-like.
Right. My Tiefling's a bard. And she's kind of dense, but she's adorable and we loves her. And since I used a maquette to make her, I actually am using the maquette to make a mini so that whenever I play her on in actual real life, I have this exact same pose and everything. And she looks exactly like this. And so because I was trying to make her really quick one night, I just literally traced the Daz maquette instead of embellishing any. And since I didn't embellish, the mini looks exactly like her. And so I'm looking to, the only problem I've got is that Daz, when it exports the clothes as a separate layer. So she's got skin underneath the clothes, which is messing up the printer. The printer can't handle that. So I have to, there's a fill function in a way to do it in in Blender, and I just haven't figured out how to do it yet. But when I do, we're gonna have lots of cool stuff going on with her because I'll be able to print her out and play her on the. That was bad. Undo. Oh, because you need to apply to connect to pixels only. So anyway,
Well, the drawing that I just did is actually along the lines of the style that I have to kind of mimic for the thing that I can't really talk about, but I mentioned it's like a broader scale comic book exposure type thing.
yep.
So
Yeah. I like having merfolk.
there's Sea Elf.
SIC elf.
They have Sea Elf.
Self. I'm easily entertained. I feel like his boots should be darker. So I think they're called Selkie.
No, I didn't want to see Elf. I want to. Okay, so it's an aquatic elf. Okay. It's from 5e on D&D. All right. Images.
Cool.
Although I don't get the point. Oh,
That's because he isn't stuck his sword at you.
No, someone put horns on a sea elf, and I'm like, it doesn't make sense if you live in the ocean to have horns.
Tell that to a narwhal.
No, I mean that's different. That's a narwhal. But like,
I'm
if you
just
describe
saying.
something as a sea elf, it doesn't make sense that their humanoid form would have some type of horns to it.
You could sing the song that my bard sings, which is, yes, I'm horny, but you still can't touch them. That's her song. Because she actually does not know what she's singing. So it's funny.
Okay.
Because she's entertainingly entertaining. That's what she does as a bard. She's not. I modeled her after Jason in The Good Place.
Oh.
You
mean the Florida guy?
Yeah. The guy who like is unintentionally wise every so often, and you're like, where did you come up with that?
Yeah.
So she's unintentionally wise every so often. Yeah, I dig her. She's one of my favorite characters.
Ironically, I know a lot of people from Florida who are like him.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. And someone actually asked me if it was accurate. I'm like, do I seem like that? No.
Well, that's silly. I mean, like
not every single person from Florida is like that.
I was gonna say, there's no way that you can have everybody be one stereotype.
Yeah, I mean, there are parts of my childhood and my personality that do align with Jason, but not 100% completely exactly like him.
Right.
Like, I do find certain things very normal that most people are like, that's not normal. Like, I always thought that it was for a very long time, I thought it was quite normal to have family gatherings where people fell over from drinking too much.
That's just Irish.
Yeah, that's pretty much Irish, yes. But also at the same time, it's like when you sit there and tell that to other people, they're like, "That's not normal." Florida surfers, however, there is a stereotype of them having zero self-control when it comes to going
Like, my
out to
sister
chill.
calls at like 10:30 every morning, and like I tell her I'm in show.
Who?
My sister. She's done this now like 3 times this week. She keeps forgetting. Like, it's people keep forgetting I broadcast. Yesterday it was my bestie who called right in the middle of the broadcast. And I've been trying to get my best friend to get on here and watch the show because he's working during the day usually. And so he's, and he's doing sort of the same kind of thing that Brent's doing. As in he's actually he's probably closer to what Bill's doing, but he's monitoring he's monitoring stuff on and stuff. So I keep not urgently, or he's not, nothing's really critically urgent. So I'm
Gotcha.
trying to tell him he should watch the show because then he could pop in and make comments about things. I feel like we're definitely getting closer to what we're looking for here. Now we start the special effects. Because we were doing this before and I really like my special effects in here. So I have some special effects brushes. Once I figure out where I put them. There we go. Then I can put in things like I like to damage up this a little bit. The brush works like I think it will. Yeah, this isn't working if I want it to. Okay, it's fine. It puts a whole bunch of leaves on there. Leaves were cool, but nah. This is the fun part, though. I get to experiment a little and kind of dink around with different things. And look, I can add grass. That's not. No. This is the interesting. Maybe a little bigger. Oh, hey, I like that. I don't know if I like it enough to do the job, but I like it. Right by the sea was crabgrass. He does a lot of really cool brushes, which I like.
Who does?
Wallop, WLOP,
Oh, okay.
and so I like to. He's got a lot of these great brushes that if you're a patron of his, you get a bunch of them. So I add them in when I can. And yeah, Moon was cool because it just adds craters to everything.
Sweet.
He's got like some great stuff in here. I'm looking for a cloud brush, though, is what I'm really looking for. Get some cloud going on in here. I have to take this out of overlay, though, in order for it to work. Got the brush off, huh? Brush with death. And so it begins. I actually want you set to you. That'll give me more of what I'm looking for out here like this. I see that we're back to potentially firing toward Donald again for his dad jokes. No dying. Good heavens.
Who's dying?
You just sounded like you were dying.
Oh, no, it's all right.
All right.
It's a combination of poor sleep and bad judgment.
Right?
Oh, there's a D&D. Let's see. Oh, there it is. How convenient.
There we go. Some clouds in the background. If we ever really fire you, it would never really be a real firing. It's because you definitely do make us smile, Donald. You are a very beloved member of this society. You and Brent, Patsy when she's here. Giving me some clouds back
Good
there.
to know. Good to know, Donald. Good to know.
Yep. I'll soften it up a little. There we go. That looks pretty solid. I'm liking that piece a lot. What it doesn't have is these splatters. Well, we're up to a full color here, but I feel like it's not rough enough yet. It's not roughed up. So we've got to rough it up. Time for us to rough up our picture. But we can get rid of now our underdrawing, and we can get rid of all of the things. So, time to rough up the picture. Put this in then as a screen. I'll drop it down just a little because we want it to be rough, but not too rough. Boom, 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 boom. The problem is I'm seeing the patterns, and I don't like it when I get the patterns. Well, thanks, gentlemen. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Saying we're both good artists.
Yeah, it's
Oh, you know what that looks like? That looks like a great, almost sun. If I went like sort of like this, I could almost get kind of a sunbeamy effect coming out of the side of the camera here. So you could then come back in and cut back in, like so. Get kind of a sunbeam going off of the side there. Kind of looks cool. This brush does not want to take in until the pressure is already quite a bit down. Notice that one. So this brush likes pressure. I'll just kind of do this number and kind of mess it up really good. That just looks like something.
Pepper's Pounds going on a date with Destiny.
Not sure what that means, but okay.
Okay.
Bring that down a little. There we go. New raster layer. I love messing up these pictures, though. And by messing it up, I don't know what I mean. But I like messing it up. Roughing it up, making it look a little bit more
Dirty.
Yeah, dirty. Part of what I think my wife is talking about is that, for sort of what it is, it's not showing up as roughed up as. Right. Yeah, I think I started with way too aggressive a stance yesterday. I think you're right. He looks a lot more nonchalant, laid back, less like he's ready to kill somebody. Not feeling so. They're really making it work for me here. I'm not sure what I'm after on this. There was a brush that I really liked. That one. Move it over to my good brushes. He has a couple of these brushes that really work well for painting. This guy is a good painting brush too. Coming up to the end of our show here. Oh, there's Dots. I wondered where Dots went. Moving all the ones that I really like over. This one's a watercolor brush. I think it even smears like watercolor. No, it doesn't.
That would be awesome.
More wreckage that I can use. So I'm moving all of these into my brushes from Willup's brushes set. The grass is cool if I could ever use it for something, but it seems like it goes like the weirdest directions. It doesn't go the direction I want it to. All the wreckage stuff was up at the very beginning of this, which is why I didn't see it. Crap. And these are all guys' brushes, and I can move them into guys' brushes. Or not. It's all right. This gives it just a little bit of texture that I like to see. We'll give you some sort of this kind of. It's like, please don't do this to me. think we're getting close. What I really like is I look at it over here on our control screen where you're seeing it, because I get too close to the picture here. But looking at it over here looks really good. Hey, Pepper, message from Brent. Messages from Brent.
I actually switched to yogurt, old yogurt cups because I don't drink out of those. So, but it's still real. I've put a cup on my desk and almost put my yeah. I had to throw out a whole entire cup of tea. I feel you. Yeah, I would say that if I had to do something like something similar to messages from Bill for myself, it would be something much different. It wouldn't sound. It doesn't sound right with my name. Um, it doesn't sound right with Guy either.
Yeah.
I think
It really is uniquely Bill.
Yeah.
I like distressing the picture.
I have a post-apocalyptic thing going on.
You got checkerboarded
Guides from Guy. Yeah.
guides from
I don't know.
Guy.
Postings from Pepper may not exactly. I don't know if that sounds right to me. But, I mean, sounds good right now.
All right. So now we've got the original just in case we need to ever go back. And we've got the distressed version. I feel like I should keep the original sketch too, just in case. If they need me to really go back. But I mean, at this point, we have you. Yep. I mean, because we've got the ability to go back to the sketch. We've got the ability to go back to the original sketch board, which was the approved picture. Pimping Pepper posts. Oh man.
Wow, that's a little bit.
Thing.
That sounds too much like Peter Piper picked a pickled pepper. No.
Posts.
Yeah.
We've got to do the things that we were just talking about. Because we were it does explicitly say in the book that he's looking out to sea because he can sense this character. So if I put these boats out there, it's not necessarily going to look like he's looking at the boats. Yow. Happy little birds. You know what these all are, right? These are kittiwakes.
Happy little birds.
Kittiwakes. They're all kittiwakes.
I don't believe you. I think they are their own thing.
Some birds. All right, we got to put in some white sea thingies here. At least we're almost done with our show, guys. Apparently, I have a message. Messages from Alexa.
Yeah. Still only works with Bill.
Yeah, I'm so close to done with this that I'm like not. I mean, I might go back and touch it up at some point, but I really like this. The piece is really sweet. I'm feeling very solid about it.
Cool. Messages from the unknown.
Oh, Sister 19 lol.
.online.
See, now you're
What?
putting a whole bunch of consonants together. How am I supposed to deal with a whole bunch of consonants?
Mishiek Kushk.
All righty. All we need now, really, is. Oh, we don't save you. We're going over just a little bit because I'm actually thinking. I wonder what would happen if I put the. Well, first of all, we need you, and we need. You, and we need you, and you. Okay, shared resources right here. You, because this makes for a very different feel on the illustration.
Well, it's good that we're going a little bit over because I mean,
You still
I have one more townsfolk that I'm doing, and then I would have to go do another prompt if we go too far over.
right?
So Gotcha.
There we go. Wow. That's an effect. Look at that.
Oh yeah. You may want to make it bigger.
You mean the picture?
Yeah. Well, like take me off the screen. Put
Oh.
yourself in the screen.
Yeah. You end up being bigger whenever we do that.
Yeah.
Well, there we go. That's a kind of a cool effect, actually. May want to turn it down just a hair, but I like the brush sort of over the whole piece effect. Let's see if I soft light it. Does that make it any different? Oh, soft light. That's what we want. Soft light. Oh yeah, look at that. Okay, my hunko. Let's put the mark of the guy on it.
The mark of the guy.
Yep, guy mark. Boink. Burned. Burned in. It's kind of a pain to do this. There we go. Won't look good there, so here's where it is. You think so? I think so too. You may be right, Donald. Let's go in and wreck the pier. I'll go in with not a straight line because that's weird. Take sort of you and go like that. Get a whiter brush and really mess it up a little. No dry rot. Oh yeah, not yet. We got work to do. We got work to do. Get in there. So take sort of this guy here and just kind of do that. There's Alex going, you gonna go for a walk? What's your problem, lazy bum? He doesn't say that. So we'll take the pin in here. Let's take the technical pin and bring it up to 17. Just come in here with kind of you and just mess it up. Donald's like, I've been to piers. That's not what they look like. There we go. Kind of messing it up like that, kind of going through here and splintering it out. I feel like I should probably be a little lighter than this, though. Let's get a pencil in for this, because I feel kind of like part of the problem is it looks too real because it's not a pencil.
Gotcha.
And that roughs it up pretty good. This is, I think, what my wife was saying. She was saying it looks too crystal clear. I think she's right. I mean, research like dry rot. I'm a landlubber. What do I know? Yeah. I'll have to go look it up. Because I'm a landlubber. I don't know from dry rot. So we'll go look it up. No peer pressure, though.
Hey.
A hole or two in it? Yeah, we can put a hole in. Like, this kind of crap, you know, it's kind of like... We'll zoom all the way off here. I think so. There we go. Okay.
All right.
About ready to call it?
Post-apocalyptic townsfolk to go with the previous image. Oop, hold on.
Wait. Need to swap you. I need to not do that ever again. I just double-clicked and I shouldn't have. There we go.
Okay. So the post-apocalyptic people behind her.
I like those guys. Those guys are cool. That's one I feel like you should ink and paint. If you ever get to the taking it one step further, that's the one step further you should take with that one. I like that piece.
Possibly. Although I do like the notion of just doing like a whole bunch of
whatever makes you. I mean, obviously this is a warm up, but I'm just saying I particularly like that one piece. That's a good piece. So that's all.
Well, it kind of looks like it's a post-apocalyptic, and Tiefling just seemed to drop into a D&D party that was post-apocalyptic.
Right. That's kind of random, but I like it. Brent likes it too, says Brent. In third person, because Brent is.
You never know. I may end up scanning this in, putting it on putting it into Procreate, and doing all of that.
Vampire cows. Porcelain clowns of the apocalypse.
I can see that. I can see that. So the next prompt, if I was doing another prompt to this stream, the next prompt was Robin Hood.
There you go. Okay, I'm saving this piece, although I saved it a while back, but I mean, not like I haven't been saving it all along. Saving this piece. I might weather the decking a little bit more, but I think I am ready to put that one out and let it go. So, and then I'm going to go eat lunch with my dear and beloved wife because she's still here for at least a little while longer. So I'm going to do that. And I will see all of you guys next week. I'll be doing Springs on Monday. And then of course we only have the half show, and then we're going to do Geek Tank, but that's all right. I will see you all then. And as always, thank you for joining me, Pepper. And I appreciate it. And thanks for being here, Brent and Donald and Ghost Hand. And I will see you all Monday, and keep your eyes on the stars. Bye-bye.
Computer, good night.